This should be the most important video you're gonna watch from my side for a long time, I think. This needs to be the blueprint for the next cycle because a lot of people admit it, they messed up and it's now all coming together. And I want to talk about that. I want to talk about the fact how you can nail it next cycle when looking at Bitcoin, when looking at altcoins, when looking at the Bitcoin dominance, and when looking at people on crypto Twitter or on YouTube, because it was pretty easy. Unfortunately, emotions took control for most people and they messed it up. So this cycle, once again, is proving like, guys, it happened last cycle. It happened the cycle before that. It's now happening again, right? We know how the cycles work, but people don't apply it. Therefore, the cycles still perform like that. Now, before you all feel like, what the fuck are you talking about? Let's get into the specifics. But again, this should be the full crypto cycle blueprint. So this is going to be better in than the video top 10 altcoins, right? But unfortunately, most people like those videos more. And it's part of the problem, right? It's part of the problem because altcoins should not be interesting. Okay, let's get into it. Welcome to the Fomo Factory. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I went all the way to my office, all the way on a Saturday, because I felt like I need to make this. I need to make this for you guys. And it's probably coming out on Sunday because I had a pretty cool video yesterday. Let's get over this tweet. Let it be a lesson for the coming cycle, and we will get more into details about this. Bear market, be out of the market or only be in Bitcoin at best. Pre-halving year, be in Bitcoin. Halving year, be in Bitcoin. Post-halving year, time for altcoins. Biggest mistake people make is that they are in altcoins here, and even here. People love to talk about alts all the time. Well, in reality, 75% of the cycle, they are simply not worth it. And that's what people do not like to admit, right? Yeah, no, but there are some exceptions, so let's put all our money in altcoins. And at the end of the day, they get wrecked. And in hindsight, they feel like, oh man, if I just stick to Bitcoin. So let's get into it. Disclaimer. The cycle is very much intact, right? So this one I'm going to tell you right now is going to be accurate for as long as the cycle is intact. That could be that this is the last cycle. Could be that it will stay intact for another two or three cycles, maybe even 10, right? I mean, the stock market goes through these cycles as well. So we cannot say like Bitcoin, yeah, we know it by now. So we are now all very smart and now it's not going to work like that. Nah, we're not very smart. That's the problem, right? There are not a lot of people in crypto, and most of the people that are in crypto are fucking stupid. Let's admit it. So and there are always a small group of people that are gonna win big with crypto. One group is the people that buy low meme coins and happen to buy that one meme coin that blew up, but that's the lottery winners. That has nothing to do with scale or brain. That's purely luck. The other people that will win big are the people that take the opposite of that. Take barely any risk. They will win more than the people that will take more risk. Let me explain you what the hell I mean. Okay, so I've said this a little bit before, but I want to go more in depth in this video because, again, you can look for all these YouTubers, 10 best altcoins or this meme coin, that meme coin. If you understand this, you will outperform all these people. 100% guaranteed, 110% guaranteed. You can sue me if that's not true, okay? So what do I mean? People, they feel like, I want to take risk because then there's more reward. And at a certain stage of the market, that's true. But overall, people don't expect that. They just think more risk is more reward. While in reality, more risk, you will lose your money and the reward is not really there, right? Lower risk in crypto is higher reward often. What do I mean? If we look at altcoins on the Bitcoin pair, what just happened? They made a new cycle low. So before I'm gonna get into that, I want to give a huge shout out to Benjamin Cohen. I made a tweet about it as well. I think we all should give Benjamin Cohen a lot of credit for how he navigated this cycle so far. He fucking nailed it. A lot of people, they loved to hate on him, and all these people were proven wrong. That's simply what it is. I made a video about him 8 months ago. Title was Benjamin Cohen is wrong. And some people said, FOMO, you suck. A couple of things I didn't agree with. A couple of things I was also wrong about. He nailed it. He nailed it. What he basically said was what I did as well, but he's a bit more, less risk even. Don't be in altcoins. If you want to go fucking risky, go in Ethereum, and other altcoins you should not even bother. And a lot of people, they mocked him for it. And I know also in the Benjamin Cohen, he said like Cardano is going this and this low. Was like 2 years ago, and the comments that he got, people they disrespected him a lot, and now it's happening, and all these people are silent. He shows that what I say all the time as well, all you need is patience, because it is pretty easy actually in this case. What do I mean with lower risk is higher reward? Well, the people that were in altcoins the whole time, right? Basically, since the bear market started, where has it gotten them? Nowhere. Altcoins just made a new low on the Bitcoin pair. Let's first talk about this, because you can say like, yeah, but look at altcoins on the dollar pair. Didn't make a new low. That's definitely true. They didn't make a new low. In fact, they're up 200%, but that's because Bitcoin is up with 320%, right? Therefore, altcoins on the Bitcoin pair just made a new low. So if anything, you could have better been in Bitcoin. So people that are in altcoins, this cycle, any point of this cycle, are not doing well, right? And of course, you have exceptions. Of course, you have certain altcoins that you happen to buy the bottom on. But then again, all these exceptions are also included in this chart. And this chart is simply showing down, right? Of course, that's always an argument. Like, yeah, but I bought this coin. I bought Render, I bought Tau, I bought Pepe, and I'm up. So altcoins are not bad. Like, that's not really, that's the exception to the rule, right? Plus, these altcoins are included in here. If you take all these altcoins combined, then this is how it looks like. And before the exceptions are going up, you do not know that that coin is being an exception. So you're still gambling, right? So higher risk. Well, in this case, this is what that higher risk did to these people, right? It's very simple. And for once, I started talking about altcoins here somewhere. Here I was very skeptical about altcoins. Here I started to be more bullish on altcoins. Have I waited longer, I would have been in a better position, definitely. Not trying to time that bottom, but like luckily, we talked a lot about taking profits here as well. So that's also a way to do it, of course. But if that was luck, I don't know. Maybe I was a bit lucky on that. No, don't know, right? But overall, if you were in Bitcoin, look, if you overlay Bitcoin, then you can see it more clear, right? If you were in Bitcoin, this was the bottom for Bitcoin. While altcoins were going down on the Bitcoin pair, Bitcoin was going up. So not only Bitcoin rode a 4x, right, even almost a 5x, you have made money on that Bitcoin, right? Now you can use that Bitcoin to put it in the altcoin market at cycle lows. So what do I mean with lower risk is higher reward? Again, do you take higher risk? It means you are putting your money into altcoins, because altcoins are higher risk than Bitcoin, of course. At the end of the day, it turned out that that wasn't rewarding, right? Chart is down, not up. And again, of course, exceptions. I also hold some exceptions, but this is the average, right? So you took more risk, but you didn't take any reward, right? You took a loss. Have you been in Bitcoin, low risk, you would have made money. Plus, you can now buy the lows. So you did not, like a lot of people, they love to FOMO into altcoins, and the average entry is maybe somewhere around here. And the first now have to ride it all the way up here to play even. And then they are finally in profits, right? And this whole time, that sucked for them. If you were in Bitcoin, you very simply now buy the lows. And once the altcoin market is here. All these people finally play even. You are already in profit. You can already dump on these people. It's that easy. What I said before, out of a full cycle, for the people that maybe are a little bit newer. And why do I make this video now? Because it's a little after the fact, I know. Well, we talked about this earlier as well, for the last 2 years, basically. But also, I assume that you want to play this crypto game longer than one cycle. It's getting fucking, I just walked in. I assume you want to be here next cycle as well, right? So you want to learn from this. It would be such a waste if you look at this all happening and you come up with an excuse why this is happening, and you're basically trying to tell yourself like next cycle won't happen like that, and you make the same mistake again. That would suck. What I thought was pretty interesting, I saw this tweet right here. Somebody did that actually. And yeah, so I tweeted this and somebody responded, alts are performing like absolute garbage. Seems like meme coins will ruin this entire altcoin cycle. Look, this part true, this part not true, right? Are alts performing like garbage? Yes, alts are performing like garbage. We see it right here. But again, we said 2 years ago that that would happen. Last cycle, it happened in this phase of the market. The cycle before that, it happened in this phase of the market. It's not because meme coins are here. It's because this is cyclical. If anything, if meme coins have to do with it in the first place, it's more like, hey, the altcoin market sucks, so people get into meme coins because they want to have some like spectacular price action here and there, right? It's not that meme coins are causing this. Meme coins weren't causing it here as well and here as well, right? And people always come with some kind of an excuse around, here it happened because of this, here it happened because of that. That's what we've been talking about more on this channel. Like charts, it was supposed to happen anyway. And after it happens, people, of course, come with the reason why this time, right? Same for the Bitcoin bear markets. Well, if it wasn't for this, then there wouldn't be a bear market. If Luna wouldn't collapse or FTX, we wouldn't have that far. But it did happen, and it marked off the cycle. Right? If that didn't happen, something else would have happened. That's how it works. It's maybe really weird to believe, but if you study the cycles really closely, then you know that it's charts first, news come after, right? There's a saying, show me the charts and I'm gonna show you the news. That's what it is. So, where was I? Yeah, okay, so this is what I said before. A market cycle basically has 4 phases. Right? We have an accumulation phase, we have an uptrend, we have a distribution phase and a downtrend, and then it starts all over again. If you look at, for example, Bitcoin on its dollar pair, you could be very simple about this. Buy here, write it up here, sell here, do nothing here, right? And then start again. But it also kind of goes for altcoins on the Bitcoin pair, for example. And it's never that perfect as I've drawn it out, but you see it right here. You have an accumulation phase. Pretty much like, yeah, the move to the downside and the upside were very drastic, but overall in 2020, the altcoin market on its Bitcoin pair went completely sideways from beginning to the end. This was your accumulation phase. Then we have the uptrend. Then we have the distribution phase. And now we have the downtrend. And then there will be an accumulation phase, which may have already started if you look at the last 3 months, but hey, who knows? You could also see this as an accumulation phase here already. We'll see by the end of the cycle. And then we have an uptrend again. It's your job to know when to buy what. Because when I'm on crypto Twitter or in Telegram groups, whatever, the conversation every day is not about Bitcoin. It's about altcoins. While in fact, it shouldn't be. Right? It shouldn't be, because like I said, altcoins are worth it 25% of the cycle, right? Again, in a bear market, 2022, don't be in crypto at all, and at most be in Bitcoin, right? Then we have 2023, from here to here, right? Also, this was the point where like altcoins didn't do shit. Like they went down and then they went up. Overall, they went sideways. Then we have, as we have it right now, 2024, which has been down only basically, right? That's the halving year. Also not worth it. Post-halving years are worth it for altcoins. Showed this many times before as well. Bitcoin dominance shows it very clear, for example. Bitcoin dominance going down is alt season. We have seen two big alt seasons so far, 2017, 2021. What you'll notice is that if you pop up the halvings, you can see that after the halving, it took 7 months to get an alt season. Here, it took 7 months to get an alt season, and we're now at the moment 5 months after the halving, right? So if anything, based on history, we should see an alt season starting in December, right? On average. But people were super vocal about altcoins here and here and here and here and here. And your favorite crypto channels probably talked about alt season a lot of times, right? I don't want to drop any names, but I know some channels with a lot of following that use the word alt season quite often in their titles. So far, they have not only been incorrect, it was the complete opposite. They showed that they don't know. But nevertheless, that's what people want to hear, because Bitcoin is boring, right? Bitcoin doesn't give any returns. Bitcoin is not spectacular. Let me get that out of the way. That's not true, right? The worst cycle for Bitcoin ever was the last cycle, right? We have diminishing returns, and the 2021 cycle was the lowest returns. If you take a look at the bottom to the top, you can see that Bitcoin did a 22x. For such a low risk crypto asset, a 22x is, I don't know, if you call that boring, then there's something is wrong, right? If you compare it to your favorite meme coin in the middle of an alt-season bull market, yeah, then it's boring. But again, 22x in a stage of the market where the rest is like most of the time getting wrecked or sideways is very, very, very good. So if you would have been in Bitcoin from the beginning of this bear market, basically, until the very day of today, then you would have done very well, right? Low risk investing, you made good gains, and you don't have to stress about altcoins this whole time. Plus, you can now buy the bottom, the literal bottom, right? Maybe tomorrow it's lower, but for now it's as low as it has ever been. Therefore, I mean, like, lower risk is higher reward. That's simply a fact, right? Again, if you put $1,000 in the altcoin, let's take it from bottom to top to make it measurable, but you will never time that, of course, right? If you would have put $1,000 into the altcoin market at the bottom, you would now have a 3x. You would now have $3,000. Okay, fine. However, if you would have put $1,000 in Bitcoin, you would now have $4,300. So no stress about altcoins going down, not spending too much time on it, not panicking with the rest of everybody, and you would have more money. Plus, if you want exposure to altcoins, you can now use that money to buy lower, right? Like the bottom again. That's so far all the time how crypto works. And it's not that I'm, again, now saying it like in hindsight. I've said this like, I think like, 2 years ago, probably already, like, it's better to buy Bitcoin. I was DCAing Bitcoin. I don't know anymore. I think it was like $1,000 or more every week, right? And it turned out that this is again how this cycle plays out. I am a big fan of thinking that this time isn't different. And Bitcoin so far isn't doing anything different, right? The altcoins on the Bitcoin pair aren't doing anything different. People saying that Ethereum is dead, right? Because Ethereum on its Bitcoin pair, it is 58% down. Last cycle, bro, it was 89% down, and it wasn't that. Right? That's not different. Bitcoin dominance running up is not different. if you look at also interesting, again, I want to show you this. Just all examples why this time isn't different, because that will be the excuse that people use to get eventually wrecked, right? If you look where Bitcoin is going in this cycle so far, following the 2 previous cycles exactly, right, isn't different. It isn't only not different, it's fucking scary the same, right? Everything is the same. It's kind of written on the wall. So actually, that's the funny thing about crypto. While it is actually not that hard, people get super wrecked because they think like, well, it cannot be that easy, so I'm doing something different. I'm going to outsmart the market. Yeah, good luck. This is what happened. Didn't work, right? I know a lot of people, they looked at altcoins that weren't that great. I spoke to a lot of people on Twitter saying more than a year ago, you should buy DOT, for example. This is where DOT now is sitting, right? This is all the result of the fact that altcoins go down on their Bitcoin pair, right? If you think that it's strategic in the next bear market, look at this chart. I mean, come on. If you in the next bear market think that it's strategic to just buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip, what you actually are doing is buying, hoping that you caught the bottom. While in every pump you feel like a genius, and before you know it makes a new low, new low, new low, new low. And look where we are right now. And a lot of, I know DOT is like, looks quite dead. But a lot of altcoins look like this, right? Even Focal Forge, which I like as a product, dead, right? Price at least. Doesn't look good. Eventually, this is what you are doing. And looking back on it, you might feel like, yeah, but once it pumps, yeah, you try to justify it for yourself. But you could also be like, you know, if I put one Bitcoin in DOT here, for example, I would now have half a Bitcoin. While Bitcoin is all the way up to all-time highs in the meantime. So eventually, you did lose money, right? And you could have used that one Bitcoin to maybe buy it here, right? Or where the hell the bottom, if there will be a bottom, eventually will be. Because if you love that altcoin so much that you want it so bad, don't you want to get as much off of it as you want, as you can? Right? And that does not make sense to me. People, they love altcoins so much, right? That they are willing to buy and buy lower and buy lower and buy lower. But if you are so desperate for that altcoins, then you want to get so much of it, then why don't you wait for the bottom to be in? It's because people are scared to miss the bottom, right? But let me tell you what, if you DCA, again, this bottom, 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 and eventually it will look maybe something like this, right? And you DCA here and here. Your average entry is here maybe, right? So did you buy the bottom? No, you didn't, right? So was this worth it? In that case, you could better, right, ignore all of this, wait until you get some clear confirmation, then make your buy, right? That's lower than this average right here. Plus, you do have a confirmation that it's not a downtrend anymore, but an uptrend, right? So it's also less risk what you're taking. I think that altcoins are, I don't want to say altcoins are the problem. People don't know how to play it, right? Altcoins are low liquidity and people feel like, wow, it's only this and that market cap could go so high, right? Why? Compared to what, right? People ignore the most precious asset in the world, which is Bitcoin, because there are some random shitcoin shield on Twitter, right? And they actually could have bought Bitcoin. And if you wanted altcoin so bad, well, you can now buy the lows on it with that Bitcoin. Look, the Bitcoin dominance is making new cycle highs. It from the moment of recording last night, it made a high all the way to 59.75%. I think it's pretty cool that, for example, again, Benjamin Cohen, he said more than 2 years ago that it would be going to 60% here somewhere. And so many people said, nah, it's not going to happen. Not because they had such a great technical analysis on it, but because they didn't want it to happen. Because they had a bag of altcoins and they couldn't think about the idea that the altcoins would get that wrecked. In the meantime, it happened, right? I mean, pretty much happened. And these people, they have watched their altcoin bags getting completely slaughtered. Right? Again, I'm, for example, a big fan of Seedify, right? And Seedify is, it's not at the bottom, it should go down another 50%. But then again, if you look at Seedify on its Bitcoin pair, that's not Seedify on its Bitcoin pair. Let me pop it up right here. S fund USD divided by Bitcoin USD. There you go. And you can see that, it is at the bottom, right? While again, the dollar pair still has 50% to go. This one is basically at the bottom, right? Now might be a good buy, right? Maybe. But as I married my Seedify bag, admittedly, I wrote this whole thing down from 0.00011 sats all the way to 0.00002. Now, for me, this is quite a different story because I also use this Seedify tokens to participate in lunches right here, which I made big profits on. But as an altcoin hold, this was not a good one, right? Just as most altcoins. Again, there are outperformers. Look at Solana. There's an outperformer right there, definitely. But it's also funny how people think about this. Because I remember when it was sitting at $9 or $12, I said, guys, I don't know, but everybody was hating the fuck on Solana. Solana dead, FTX bullshit. And I said, guys, quality isn't worse. It's still a fucking fast chain. It's cheap. The prices are only lower. That's the definition of a discount. That's literally what I said. Then it ran up. I took my profits way too early, by the way. I have to admit that, but doesn't matter. But then it ran up. And now that it's here, everybody loves Solana. Too late. Too late, bro. Overall, Solana was at lows. AVAX was at lows. Some meme coins were at lows. Name anything. It was at lows. Not a lot of people were so smart that they said, you know what, I'm going to ignore everything, but I'm going very much heavy in Solana right now because that might be the one. And that they literally chose the outperformer. What they probably did, bought the dips on every altcoin, right? On the bad ones and maybe on Solana. So they might have profits on Solana, right? Which is up. But again, if you look at a lot of other altcoins, they're down on that. So that compensates again. And again, overall, if you put all these altcoins together in one chart, then this is how it looks like, right? Down. So my blueprint for the next cycle is 1, don't try to find an excuse why this is not happening again. That's so stupid, right? People here said this won't be happening again because this was only going down because of, and here it was only going down because of. Here it again went down because of. Instant reason doesn't matter. It's cyclical behavior. It happens, right? Next cycle, it will happen again. Probably, right? We'll see by then if the cycle is still intact. So far it is. And again, it's not that I see sometimes people say like, yeah, well, now people are smarter and now it's going to be different. Bro, there are no people in crypto, basically. Retail isn't even here. Most people in crypto are not smart because they all fucked it up right here. And the people that are smart enough, not everybody applies it. And the couple people that are here are smart enough and do apply it. These are very selective few people that actually wins in a cycle. Because again, crypto is player versus player, right? A lot of people lost money on altcoins. Good. Thanks, because now we can win, right? If we buy, somebody else sells. If somebody else sells, we buy. Now it will be the other way around, right? Now I see a lot of messages from people saying that altcoins are dead, right? At the bottom, probably, maybe, close to it, right? Okay, great. Sell me your altcoins at the bottom. Sell them at the bottom to me. Do it. Just like you were buying it at the top, right? We need these people. So if people are saying like, oh, altcoins are dead, don't be stressed out about this. These people are emotional. Take advantage of that because it sounds cruel. But again, crypto is player versus player. We cannot all win. How can we all sell at the top? Who are we selling to, right? We need people to lose. And the better you understand this, it means the more experience you have or the more knowledge you have, the better it is because a lot of people don't know this. And you are trading against these people. So do yourself a favor. Know about this stuff. Don't try to outsmart the market by watching too much crypto banter videos about their updated portfolios they do every week, about their altcoins that are down the drain. Don't do that. Understand the cycle. And once you understand the cycle, and it is time for altcoins, and you can follow the right people, whether it's them or anybody else, then you can follow the right people to use them as a part of your research to find out what the best altcoins are to be in. But the chart clearly shows, guys, so far, if you would have not been in altcoins and you start buying them today, you could have not done it better. Very simple. What did it require, though? A lot of patience. Even in this stage of the market. Like, again, this chart, what we have right here, these are altcoins collectively on their Bitcoin pair, right? And what is an alt season? It's when altcoins outperform Bitcoin, right? So again, this chart going up is finally an alt season. If it's going down, then it's the opposite of an alt season, Bitcoin season, right? Not gonna happen. So far, this chart has been going down for 144 weeks, 1,000 days. This is 3 years where altcoins have been getting wrecked. Every little bounce that we had, or every bigger bounce, people said, alt season back. People FOMO'd in right here to get themselves wrecked. Then it's going up a little bit. People FOMO in again, and they get wrecked. And even in this huge thing right here, people may have gotten in right here, or not, right? And watch it go up first, getting wrecked because it's going down again. If you see this, then look, it could go lower. But if anything, I'm not saying this video, making this video for you to not be in altcoins. If you look at this chart, if I would look at this chart and it was an altcoin or an asset, whatever, I would say buy, right? Purely because, like, I don't know. If you look at this resistance, support, etc., double bottom potentially. I don't know. If you want to buy it somewhere, then buy it here. Again, these are altcoins on the Bitcoin pair. So I would say altcoins have a good chance that they now finally go up against Bitcoin. And it could be that it stays like here for a while, which I think is more likely. Maybe it breaks down a little bit and then tries to get up and eventually breaks up. I don't know. But this should be the area, give or take. Right? But what you should never do is look at such a chart and every time it pumps, be like, oh, FOMO, let's buy. Because you see what happens. So if this, again, it's not even a big if, it's pretty likely if this whole cycle thing plays out next cycle again, then it's easy. But let your emotions go. Don't be too much in the moment. Look at the charts at the bigger picture, zoom out, try to learn from what happened before. Because the market is really giving it to you. All you have to do is listen and apply. If this plays out again, then we have 2025 alt season. 2026 bear market. Don't be in crypto. If anything, only in Bitcoin. Right? Then we have 2027. That's the pre-halving year. Be in Bitcoin. 2028 halving year. Halving year. Be mostly in Bitcoin. And I will explain that. And then we have 2029 again. Alt season. Halving year be mostly in Bitcoin. What do I mean? Well, it's very simple. It depends on how things are looking by then. So it's hard to already make a plan exactly now on how you're going to do it by then. But now it is also the halving year. This is not the time where I would say, guys, be fully in Bitcoin. No, it's more the time that if you have Bitcoin, looks like a perfect fucking moment to convert them to quality altcoins right now. Again, this looks like the bottom. So again, yeah, if you were in Bitcoin in 2024, congratulations, you nailed it. Now it's time to maybe think about converting them into altcoins. And it happens to be when the sentiment is the other way around again, right? People start to doubt. People that were bullish on altcoins right here saying, altcoin season starts, blah, blah, blah. They are now saying, altcoins are dead. You should not be in altcoins. Only go for meme coins, and utility is not coming back. Blah, 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 blah. What do you think people said over here, right? I mean, altcoins on the Bitcoin pair are down 69%. Nice. Here, altcoins on the Bitcoin pair were down 80%. They got wrecked way harder, and it was pretty emotional because here, altcoins had a run up. People felt like, whoa, alt season is back. And then in a matter of a couple of weeks, they got slaughtered again. Believe me, people here said, really, they were dead. That was all the sentiment you could have found anywhere. If you were talking about altcoins right here, people would have said you crazy. Are you trying to throw your money away, stupid asshole? You don't know that altcoins are dead? And then we got a fat alt season. The sentiment is pretty much getting there now, right? That's exactly the time where you want to be in altcoins. But don't be, look, in a bear market, don't even be in crypto. Like I said, yeah, it's always good to have some Bitcoin because you know what Bitcoin is meant for. Even if it could go down 70%. I mean, it could go down 70%. Well, the dollar will go down, 12%? Guaranteed every year. That's compounding, right? So don't be in crypto, maybe just in Bitcoin. Pre-halving year, just be in Bitcoin. Doesn't matter what people say about altcoins. If you are in Bitcoin, you will do fine. You don't take a lot of risk, and there's probably good reward. 2028, halving year. I know there's the hype of the halving. Some retail will come back. But halving years are just not known. Like they are known for wild behavior, right? What altcoins have seen so far, 2024 was quite wild because altcoins got wrecked. But 2020, for example, first they mooned and then they got wrecked. Overall, it ended where it started, right? So even with this, why would you go through this emotional roller coaster if you go from A to Z like anyway, which is no difference in this case? Just be in Bitcoin. Yeah, and then we have 2029, and that's right where people are going to say, fuck that, altcoins are dead, alt season canceled, and then we get an alt season, right? Don't try to outsmart the market. It is not going to work. And I would sincerely advise you sticking to this channel and sticking to Benjamin Cohen's channel as well. I'm not look, I got some comments here and there in the past as well, where people said like, "Oh, you're trying to do what he does." Kind of bullshit, actually, because if there are only two people in your space saying this stuff, then you need to look for more people, right? Because there are a lot of people that talk about altcoins all the time. They're not copying each other as well, right? What I do basically the same as he, but I try to make it a little more risky, a little altcoin here and there, a little pre-sale here and there in that time, right? Where I think the outperformers could be, right? But not too much, because again, of everything that I just explained, basically. But he has proven that he was, if you ignored all these crypto influencers and just followed him, you will outperform everybody. Fuck all these other influencers, most of them. Like, I made these tier lists, great influencers there though, but he was clearly better than every one of them. And it showed to me, like, a lot of people, they looked at that and be like, yeah, but it's because of the. I really tried to learn from this. I applied it, not as great as I could have, right? I went out of altcoins a little too late and into altcoins again a little too soon, because I wanted to take a little more risk. But for next cycle, I know Bitcoin isn't boring. Bitcoin will outperform altcoins. It will make you money. You won't take a lot of risk. And you will have dry powder that way to buy these altcoins eventually once they bottom out. Why be in altcoins? Makes no sense at all. Overall, the dominance, again, yeah, it made new highs. What could happen here, in my opinion, is that, look, I think that this is kind of the top here. And it's very easy to just say that. But I think it is this time. Why? Well, first off, this whole area right here. So this means that alt season should start, right? That's kind of what I'm saying. This whole area right here has just way too much shit going on to just break through it, in my opinion. We fell, we tried to get back up, it turns into resistance right here. A lot of resistance right here. Before the run up, a lot of resistance. When we came down, it was support. When we came down, it was support again. And now we are sitting there. Usually, it's not that we just ignore everything and just do woohoo. That's usually not what happens. Also, if you look at the 618, where it comes in, that's at that level. That's also where it got rejected last cycle before we got an alt season. Other than that, if you look at others on their Bitcoin pair, again, this has the same kind of support and resistance as the Bitcoin dominance has, the other way around. And yeah, I don't know. With this history and this potential double bottom, I think that this could be it. Also, if you look at others' dominance, which I think is really important, which I spoke about earlier, and now something interesting happened. I said, like, this is the dominance for the altcoin market, right? So up alt season, down Bitcoin season. They are in this parallel channel for 7 years. If you count this right here, then 10 years. So this has been super accurate. And what just happened is we kind of completely went to the bottom. If you look at it on the daily chart, it's not a coincidence that we go down with such a candle, but that this is exactly where we bounce. I think that this is bottom area. I could be wrong about that, though. I will admit it if I'm wrong, of course. But if I have to guess, right, that's at the end of the day all what we do. If I have to guess, then I would say, yeah, if this is not bottom area with all these charts combined, then what? Right? One thing that I'm very positive about Benjamin Coe in this video, because again, I think that he completely nailed it. Well, he did. one thing that I don't really agree on is if you look at altcoins, this is a chart that he looks at a lot. Total 3 minus USDT divided by Bitcoin. So that's basically also others divided by Bitcoin, but not really. This is the total 3, so everything excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, plus we take away USDT and we look at that on its Bitcoin pair, right? This chart is actually the same, but here we take away the rest of the top 10 as well. So no XRP, like who's going to invest in that anyway, right? Cardano, no Solana, no USDC, none of those. So I think that this is more relevant, actually. But he looks at this chart a lot, and he is saying that there's a good chance that we will go down here, right? Because it is ranging like this. There I'm very skeptical about. One, we are already going up, and this thing doesn't really seem to have that big breakdown. But two bigger reason is that if you look at like others Bitcoin again, you can see that this has been forever making higher lows, higher highs, right? So altcoins against Bitcoin are long-term in an uptrend, at least the top 125, right? Long-term, they are in an uptrend. But it's that there again, there is no Cardano, no XRP included in this chart, right? These coins are super high cap, but they are also very hard underperformers. So they will drive the price chart down, right? They will push the dominance up. While in fact, the real altcoins outside of the top 10, they don't necessarily go down. It's just because some of these high cap underperforming altcoins are not doing shit. And again, as you can see, this has been in a long-term uptrend, right? Higher lows. Now, if I look at this, then I think like, okay, then could it be that this will also make a higher low? Right? Again, so far it's showing that if you look at the dominance, yeah, this is mooning. And if you look at this chart, this is not really going down that hard as the dominance is mooning. If you overlay it, you can see pretty clear. And it's not that parabolic. If you look at this here, we went down a little diagonal, but from this point, this was almost vertical. So that's something that I don't really agree with, but time will tell. Good chance that he's right anyway. But this is just how I'm looking at it, right? Same case, by the way, people now say Ethereum is dead. I'll be very careful with that. And I think Ethereum is going to be a fantastic buy. I saw Alex Becker tweet, why would anyone invest in Ethereum? The upside with Bitcoin is the same, but the downside is 10 times as much. I kind of get where he's coming from, but the thing is that Alex Becker doesn't really understand charts. That's what it is, right? If you technically look at Ethereum on its Bitcoin pair, right, then I feel like, hey, Ethereum can outperform Bitcoin like maybe even 100%. So if Bitcoin goes up 2x, then Ethereum goes up 4x. It's very simple. Ethereum, matter of fact, has always been outperforming Bitcoin. Here it was outperforming Bitcoin. Here it was outperforming Bitcoin. Here it was outperforming Bitcoin. Why in the next cycle not? Like, again, that's saying, oh, this time is different. Not a single fucking time is different. Why do people keep saying that? Like, it isn't. How many times does the crypto market needs to show you, guys, this time isn't different. Wake up. It's the same. It's easy. Just do this. And people ignore it and they get wrecked. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Smart. If you were a candy, you wouldn't be smarty, bro. Bad joke. So, yeah, I'm figuring like, what else can I say? Because I don't prepare videos. But I think that this is so important to all understand. And if you look at crypto as cyclical as it is, then you should also look at Bitcoin, right? Then you now know, like, hey, my altcoins kind of depend on Bitcoin, right? And then you can very clearly see we have a top, 4 years later, we have a top. 4 years later, we have a top. 3 times this trend, right? There's a very, very, very high chance that end of 2025 will be the top. If I have to put my money somewhere, it's that. A lot of people also said this will be a left translated cycle. And no, why? Because we topped early right here. No, it's just we went up very fast and now we are slowing down. We are already compensating. It's not left translated. Look, it's now slowing down. And now because of the slowdown, people say, wow, this time is different. It's already topped. And bro, we have bottom every 4 years. We have a halving every 4 years. We have presidential election every 4 years. We have the global money flow, right? Like, it's not a coincidence, bro. It's not a coincidence. So, therefore, 2025 will be probably a spectacular year. But I said a couple of months ago, that won't happen before you see a lot of people tweeting and on YouTube saying that alts are dead, that this time is different, that now it's not going to work like that anymore. We have a lot of that sentiment right now. And that could mark the beginning of the next leg in this bull market, actually. So I hope you appreciate this video. A lot of controversial topics, and maybe some of them you disagree with. Sometimes I get somebody that says, that's not true, but they don't explain why, and then I'll always ask why, and they don't answer. So that's fine. If you see something different, let me know why, because I need to learn as well, man. I need to see how other people see this. Just showed you how I see it. And all in all, I just think that, and please take that as a lesson, it is that's the stupidest thing you can do in crypto. Ignore the charts, ignore the cycles, ignore all the patterns, and say that this time is different because of insert reason. These reasons don't matter because they have never mattered, right? Again, during a big worldwide pandemic, the cycle wasn't affected by 1%, right? We had a short-term drop. Eventually, from A to Z, we did it again. So be very careful with that. That has never helped somebody. And I don't want you to get wrecked. I want my following to get rich. Pure and simple. That's it for today. It's almost an hour, but I needed to get this out of the way. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you're new. Turn the bell notification on. Like the video 3 times. Something, I don't know. And I'll see you guys not tomorrow, I think, but soon.